who don't know me, I'm Dutchess. This is my channel, Dutchess Divinity, and we do lots of stuff here, but today I am going to be giving coping skills. So let me see if I can turn off the chat. Hide chat. Perfect. So I'm going to be giving coping skills because I am very sick of people spewing their emotions everywhere. I think it's irresponsible. I think it's unfortunate, and I think some people don't have the skills to emotionally regulate. So instead of complaining about it, I'm just going to give you guys some coping skills, and then when you're in a moment where you know you're having trouble regulating your emotions, maybe you'll click back on this video and take some of my advice. And I just realized that, like, if I hadn't been through all the therapy that I've been through over the years, I wouldn't have the coping skills that I have today. So I thought I'd pay it forward, even though I'm getting bullied and name called. And honestly, I want to do it right back. I'm going to be honest. Like, I want to yell back at these people. I want to call them names back. I want to feed into it, but that's not productive for anyone. It's destroying my peace, and it's ultimately not the kind of person that I want to be. So when I'm like talking to you guys and when I'm giving you this information, please know I am not on a high horse. I am not judging, but also I am not just love and light and gonna take it. And for people who have known me since high school, like, I have always been like that. I was literally the bully to the bullies. Like, if you were fucking with someone, I was gonna come and yell at you until you stopped doing it. So that's kind of my baseline, and I'm trying to move past that to a place that's more productive, because the whole like butting heads eye for an eye it's uncomfortable, and I want to move past it. So I figured instead of continuing to complain about everybody's lack of emotional regulation, I would provide some coping skills that help me. So as always, and I thought too, if you guys want to hear it, I will do a video as well, because the reason I'm doing this is because people have no emotional regulation since the elections. If you want me to break down what's true, what's real, and what's propaganda as far as the Trump campaign and his team goes, I will, because I'm very good at research. And that's something I realized in 2020, that that's actually a skill that a lot of people don't have. And then I was talking to some of my friends earlier as well, and I was saying, you know, I realized that, like, when people are in this state of, like, such upset, like their parasympathetic nervous system is so out of whack, they cannot self-regulate. So if they can't even self-regulate, they certainly cannot be doing research on the topics that are stressing them out to a point of dysregulation. And so I'm really trying to, like, put myself back in my own shoes from when I was when I couldn't control my emotions, and kind of, like, instead of, like, looking down at that behavior, remember that I had that behavior. I still have that behavior sometimes. I don't always control my emotions or my words or whatever, but also to provide some coping skills so that people can maybe learn to have that emotional regulation, to get their parasympathetic nervous system back in alignment, which goes with a lot of what I want to be talking about with the MK Ultra. I have a lot of videos I want to make, guys. I've just been a little bit distracted, but with life. But it goes back to the trauma-based mind control, right? Because if you're in a state of trauma-based mind control and you're completely out of control of your own emotions, then it's like, then it's very easy to just continue to keep you out of alignment and never get you in a place of feeling comfortable and at peace, right? Because your trauma brain, your lizard brain, is taking over. And it's like, there are so many facets to our brain, and once you hop right to lizard and you're in a trauma response, you're literally it's called caveman brain for a reason in psychology, because it's like, you can't think straight, you can't do the research, you can't think critically, because you're literally just focused on survival. And so that's why I want to share some of my coping skills that got me out of that state, and at least into a state of being able to function properly. And you know what I realized too is, I had to learn how to control my emotions if I wanted to have relationships. So it's like a lot of the people that are like yelling or name calling or things like that, it's like you're completely sabotaging your relationships, sometimes with people who are like I have had family members do it. I was just listening to another creator whose childhood friend wrote him off and didn't want to hear anything he had to say just because they had a difference in opinion about something. Like, when you have no control over your emotions, you're really biting your nose to spite your face, and you destroy the relationships that you've built with people because you're not, like I said, thinking from like the front of your brain. You're thinking from the caveman part of your brain, the survival part of your brain, even though you're not in a survival situation. But the thing about people with trauma is like your brain will get tricked into thinking it's life or death. So thinking that you're having this disagreement with your friend or your family member, your brain is getting tricked into thinking it's life or death because you're in a trauma response. So if you want to have meaningful relationships with people, there has to be compromise and there has to be control over your emotions. And that's hopefully what I'm going to help you a bit with today. And also taking accountability, like I said, like I am doing this because I too am losing my cool. I too get very angry. I too, when I'm getting called a name, I want to call someone a name back. When I feel like someone's saying something against my character, or saying something that's not true about me, I want to correct them. And that's not a healthy way for me to live. I can't sit here and micromanage everything, every untrue thing that someone says about me. That's not like, then my life would suck. And now both of our lives suck. And what's the point, right? So, and also too, if you want, after the live, I'm not looking at the chat until after, so I can just give a cohesive video, but after the live, if you want to leave a comment, let me know if you want me to teach you how to do tapping, because I can teach you how to do EMF tapping, which helped me a lot when I was coming out of trauma-based, like, functioning, to get my brain and my body, because there's like that book, The Body Keeps the Score, which is all about how the body holds trauma and how when the body is triggered, it creates this psychological response. And so it's like about moving the parasympathetic nervous system and activating it to get the body out of fight or flight and get yourself back into a state of equilibrium so you can actually think straight. So if you want me to teach you how to do tapping, my therapist used to do tapping with me all the time. She's a trauma specialist, so I can teach you. I'm not certified, I'll say that off the bat, but I can teach you what I know. And that's what I'm going to do today with the coping skills. So you might want to get a piece of paper and a pen to write this down, or you can just watch this back. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, when you are having a mental breakdown, so whether you are stuck in dissociation, so right, there's fight, flight, freeze, submit. I know they call it fawn now, but when I was in therapy, they were calling it submit. So when you're in those 4 states, this is also a side note too, guys, and this is not meant to be religious at all, but I have been really trying to keep track of when I am falling into the 7 deadly sins, because the 7 deadly sins have, like, in understanding them better, I've been realizing, like, that a lot of those things actually make my life worse. So, like, for me personally, the one that I struggle with the most is wrath. So I think it's like, I can't think of them all off like the top of my head right now, but wrath and gluttony are what I'm working on right now, because it's like I found myself using sugar and like bad for you food as a coping skill, and I realized that like my comfort food didn't actually make me feel comfortable. It actually made my body feel physically very uncomfortable after I finished getting the high from like whatever junk food it was that I was eating. And so I've been working on gluttony, and that's been helping a lot to like recognize that, and then also recognizing the wrath in myself, because I am wrathful. I am very, like, I can be extremely vengeful. I can be extremely angry. And even like someone had commented on the Cornica video, like they were like, I found myself shaking from your wrath, and I felt a little bad. But at the same time, in the moment, that is what I was feeling. That wrath is what I was feeling. And so I'm working on not indulging into those, because I always end up feeling bad, right? Because it's like I didn't want to scare the person that was like, I found myself shaking from your wrath. Like, I didn't want to scare them. I wanted to assert my authority over the people who hurt me and the people who came for corn. I didn't want to make the random bystander feel bad and sad and scared and shaking who watched the video. And by the way, I really want to like hammer home that that was a return to sender. Like, I've been taking some flack. Like, some people were so amazing. Like, I literally said we ride at dawn, and you were like, yes, Dutchess, we fucking ride at dawn. And like, thank you all for all of you who participated and helped me with that. So many people did. Like, Lizzie was like on call for days because of that, because so many people were coming through, and I truly and greatly appreciate you. But at the same time, it's like, some people were saying, oh, you sent evil energy, oh, you did this, you did that, and it's like, I actually didn't. I just took whatever they sent to me and I gave it back to them, and I called in my ancestors for protection. So I understand that my wrath in that video probably felt very palpable, and I'm definitely not going to apologize for standing my ground when it came to my child, my fur child, my firstborn, Cornica. But I will say I'm sorry if you got caught in the crossfire of my wrath and you felt scared or you felt upset by that. But anyway, so yeah, I've been working on the 7 deadly sins, but going back to the coping skills. Fight, flight, freeze, or submit. So when you're in any of these situations, you're going to want to focus on the 5 senses, okay? So, hear, taste, touch, smell, what's the other one? Hear, taste, touch, smell, eyes, ears, mouth, nose. What's the other one? Oh my God. What's the other one? Can you put it in the chat? Can someone put it in the chat? Hi. Oh my God, I stopped overeating as well because I learned about gluttony. Yeah. Okay, let's go off the other ones. Yeah, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't fucking say it. The moderators will just fucking kick you out. And you know what? I like, someone just said forehead. I actually like my forehead. I think it's a great forehead, and it holds a very powerful third eye. Sight! How did I forget my eyes? Sight, smell, hearing, taste, touch. Thank you, Mystic Mermaid. Hey guys. Sorry, I turned the chat off because I didn't want to get distracted by it, because I wanted to get the information out. I'll put it back on after. Thanks for saying you like my nails. I like them too. Okay, let's hide the chat because I'm ADD. Okay, so you're going to want to focus on the 5 senses when you're in a fight, flight, freeze, or submit situation. So here's what I did. You don't have to do this, but this is what I did. One of the biggest coping skills I used while I was dissociative was coloring, because it's like there's no pressure. You're not like sitting there like, I'm the worst artist ever, trying to draw something and feeling like you're doing a bad job. You just color in the lines, and so it's like, it's fun. You make something beautiful. It's tangible that you have after, and there's not a lot of pressure because the photos are already like made for you. You're just coloring them in. So yeah, so what I would do is I did a lot of coloring, and you can print stuff out, so you can get, and I want these coping skills to be for people who don't have a lot of money either, because when I was in the throes of my lack of emotional regulation, I was very poor as well, so I didn't have a lot of money and resources to get myself out of it. So like, you can literally get a coloring book from the dollar store. You can get crayons from the dollar store. But if you have money and you want to like actually go all out, you can get yourself one of those fancy adult coloring books. You can get, they have all kinds of special coloring pencils that are like really amazing. Like, you can get high quality colored pencils, and then your art just comes out so nice. They have watercolored pencils. Art therapy helped me so much when I was going through things. If you're feeling dissociative, or you're feeling like scrolling, or you're feeling upset, like literally pick up a pen and journal, pick up a pen and doodle, like do anything that gets you creating and gets you in that tactile energy. Now, another thing that I did a lot and still have been doing, because I was very dissociative after Cornica died. I'm still pretty dissociative because it's like my baseline for my soul to just leave my body during these traumatic events, because that was my avoidance and dissociation were my two main unhealthy coping skills. And then eventually I'd snap, right? So it's like I'd avoid, I'd dissociate, snap, because eventually you have to come back in your body. So when I was feeling very dissociative, when I've been grieving corn, I started beading, and that's why I was making those bead necklaces and things like that, because it's like it's a repetitive, productive action that can be done during dissociation. So if you can find a repetitive, productive action that can be done during dissociation, so like cleaning the dishes, it's a repetitive, mindless activity. You can throw on a podcast and you can still dissociate while you do that. The beading, like I said, coloring is a repetitive, tactile action that you can take during dissociation. So I would color, and I'd color like a picture, and then once I was done with the coloring, I would put the 5 things on that piece of coloring that I did. So like I would say, for taste, I want to chew gum because I can taste that. All of these things put you back in your body. By going into your 5 senses, it puts you back in your body, and it takes you out of the fight, flight, freeze, or submit, because you're going back, you're coming out of the lizard brain and you're coming into the front of your brain again and back into your body. So for taste, I would put like number 1, gum. And then let's say for smell, I'm like, go get one of your candles. Number 2, smell a candle. For touch, maybe it's tapping, EMF tapping. And so I put that for number 3 for touch. For sound, I put my favorite song, because a really big thing with people with trauma is like we don't like to be surprised. Like, so like I don't want to accidentally listen to a song that's talking about something that's triggering, but I don't know it's about to talk about something that's triggering, so I've never listened to it before. So put down your favorite song that always lifts your spirits, not the song that makes you sad and want to cry. And then for sight, I would put like my favorite movie. So like for me, my trauma movie is Coraline. When I first became homeless, I just watched Coraline on repeat. And so it's like, that is my safe movie now. That's my comfort movie, and that's my trauma movie. I know exactly what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. I can recite it, basically, and I know there's going to be a happy end. So, like, when you're visually seeing something, you want it to be something that's also not triggering. So don't go frickin' put on Last House on the Left, where there's, like, a super long RAPE scene, and you're like, ah, my eyes! Like, that's not the kind of sight we're looking for, guys. Like, we're looking for something that, like, that is safe, right? So you're going to color your picture, and then you're going to write in like pretty handwriting your 5 go-to senses, your 5 top coping skills, right? Now, that was one of the main things I did, and then I hung the picture next to my bed. So like if I was dissociating and I was stuck in bed, I could look at my picture and say, oh, let me get a piece of gum. Let me go put on that song I really like. Let me pop Coraline on the TV and get some coloring out, you know? So that is my first advice. My second advice is journaling, dude. The shit that you're spewing online or that you're yelling at other people about, journal it. And I need to take this advice myself. Like I said, I am not perfect. I am guilty. I am also guilty. Okay? So the shit you want to yell at people, yell it out in your journal. Like I said, if you want to have meaningful relationships with people, you can't just spew all the time. If you want to have a meaningful relationship with yourself, you can't just be dysregulated and freaking out all the time either. If you want peace and serenity, you have to find a way to release and channel those feelings while also respecting yourself and others, okay? So, so journaling, and literally, even if it's chicken scratch, if you can't even, do you know how many journal entries I had that I couldn't even read because I was just getting all the horrible thoughts and feelings out of my body and head? And then when you're done, you burn that shit. And before I even was like back into witchcraft, because I was like into it, and then my abusive ex like really beat it out of me and was like not allowing me to have spiritual sovereignty. I would journal and then I'd burn it and I'd pour water over it so it didn't catch anything on fire. And looking back, it's like, that was spiritual, right? I was like doing a cord cutting letter, essentially. I would cross it out and then I'd burn it. And so, and then you add the water to like even out the emotions. So it was like I was doing witchcraft even when I didn't realize I was doing witchcraft. So journaling is like my number one, that thing, that mean comment you want to write, that thing you want to yell at people, journal it out. And then if it's uncomfortable enough, fucking burn it. Get rid of it. You don't need it. You got it out of your head. You got it out of your body. You don't need it anymore. Get rid of it. So that's another coping skill I want to give. The other one, I don't really have the best example right now, but I'm going to pretend. I need you guys to like rock with me for a second. So here's what I do when I am like so angry and I need to move it. The other thing too is movement, right? I dance out my emotions a lot. And the thing about dancing out your emotions is like, you're not dancing to look good. You're dancing to feel good. And so if you can get rid of your biases and think, oh, I look so ugly, or that move looks stupid, or I wish I did this, like, no, let it go, because that's not the objective. The objective of dancing your emotions is not to look good or to be visually appealing to other people. The objective of dancing your emotions is to make yourself feel better, to put yourself first, and to get those feelings out of your body, right? You can also work out, take a run, take a walk. When I was angry, I was anxious one day. I literally was like Forrest Gump. I went on like a 3-hour walk. I was literally like Forrest Gump. I couldn't stop walking because I was so anxious, and I knew if I sat still, my anxiety would catch up with me. So I literally walked. I outwalked my anxiety. I sped walk away from my anxiety for 3 hours. And by the time I was done, I was tired out and the anxiety was gone. Working out gives you more, for me, it gives me more satisfaction with my mental health than it even does with my body. Like, yes, it feels good to get back in my body, to stretch and feel strong. Yes, that feels good. But my brain feels better when I honor myself with, working out and stuff. So you're pissed off, go take a fucking walk. You're pissed off, go punch a punching bag, right? And that's what I'm going to show you now. So something I do, pretend this is a piece of cardboard. So we all go, don't get triggered, it's an American flag. Just kidding. Sorry guys, I had to, because at the end of the day, I'm still a troll. Okay, so pretend this is a piece of cardboard. We all order shit from online because that's the world we live in now, right? Post 2020, everybody orders shit online. How many fucking boxes do you get in the mail, right? I'm sure you get a lot. And even if you don't order stuff from online, maybe you have a cereal box, or maybe you have the box that your spaghetti came in, okay? You're going to take a piece of cardboard, aka this, pretend this is a piece of cardboard, and then, so you don't destroy property or your body, because I was the girl who would fucking punch a wall. I would sit here and bang, 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 until I fucking hurt myself. I used to fucking, like, if I'm being so real, sometimes I'd be so frustrated, I'd smash my head on the wall. And that was like a coping skill from when I was a kid. So sometimes we have, that's something else I want to talk about. Sometimes we have self-harming behavior that is literally from when we were at an age when our brain was developing, and that self-harming behavior is completely unconscious, right? So I would find myself, and I'm not proud of this, but I don't do it anymore, and that's why I feel comfortable speaking about it. And some people might call me names or, you know, still make fun of me for this, but I don't care. I overcame it. I've been through so much trauma in my life. I've only shared a fraction of it online, but like the people who know me and who truly know everything I've been through, it's a miracle I'm alive. It's a miracle I'm functioning. I have no shame because, like I said, I have overcome these bad coping skills. And so sometimes our self-harming behavior literally stems back to early childhood when our brain was developing, when we were going through these situations, and this does not serve us anymore. This does not serve us anymore. So instead of being the girl that fucking punches the wall and hurts her hand or smashes her head on the wall because she's self-harming and she's in a fit of rage and she can't think straight, now I'm the girl that when I get real mad and I can't control it, I take my cardboard, pretend this is cardboard, so your recyclable cardboard that you got with your package in the mail or that you got with your spaghetti, and I go to my door frame, Because this is not going anywhere. This is holding up my house. I used to break shit too. I would bite my nose to spite my face, and then I just end up breaking shit. And it's like I don't have my nice stuff anymore because I had a fit of rage and now it's broken. So I take my door frame, because my door frame is not going anywhere. By the way, I can feel the evil eye on me. I'm sending it back to you tenfold or transmuting it into money. You might as well just stop. I'm taking my door frame, and you take your cardboard and you, and it feels so good because the cardboard, you were already going to recycle it. It's not anything of importance. And guess what? Your door frame isn't going anywhere. You're not hurting your hand from a punch. And you're just taking, and you get that feeling, that like crunch, 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 crunch. And you fucking whack the shit out of your door frame until that cardboard gets floppy. And then you rip another piece off the box and you bang, 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 bang. Because it gets it out of your body and it's healthy and it's safe and you're not hurting anyone, you're not hurting yourself, and you're not hurting your property. So that is another one that I do. Also, if you have the money for it, and you have one near you, I highly recommend rage rooms. Like, rage rooms are so fun because you get to go into a controlled space and you get to safely break stuff. They are expensive, so if you don't have it, do the cardboard trick. If you do have the money for it, I highly recommend it. You just get to break stuff and you get to scream and you get to move that energy out of your body without hurting anybody or without hurting property that is actually like important to you, or hurting other people, right? Whew. All right. The last coping skill I'm going to give you is, I'll give you one other one too. I used to make self-harm jars. So I used to take jars and then you add water to them and then you add glitter glue and then you seal them shut and then you shake them. And so like if you're about to scream at someone and freak out on them, you shake the jar and you wait until all the glitter goes to the bottom. Or if you're about to self-harm or do something self-deprecating, you shake the bottle, you wait, you let the glitter fall all the way to the bottom before you make a choice. Now this does not always work. It doesn't work if you're really in a dark place. But if you're not, it can be helpful. And it's fun to make the jars. So my last coping skill that I'm going to give you is to have a box, a self-care box. So you have this box and you're going to put all the things in it that like I've suggested. So maybe for feel, you really like the feeling of lotion on you. So you put your favorite lotion in there. Guess what? Check for smell as well. It's got a good smell. So now you're doing touch and smell, okay? So you put your favorite lotion in the box. I want you to put your favorite book in the box. And like I said, don't put freaking like something that's going to trigger you. Put something that's going to be enjoyable and that you really like. Also, too, guys, I've been totally reading children's books lately because they make me laugh and I think that they're cute and they make me feel happy. And I've been going to the library and just checking out children's books for myself. And maybe that's weird to some people, but it's been enjoyable to me and it's been really healing for my inner child. And so like those of us who have trauma, like I was saying, it's like sometimes we like things that we know are not going to scare us or trigger us or, send us into a spiral. So even if it's like you have to put a children's book in your box, put a children's book in your box. If you want that Junie B. Jones, throw that in there, girl. Girl, do it. Captain Underpants, do it, girl. Throw it on in. If it reminds you of a simpler time when you were less stressed out, why not? So you're going to have everything you need in that box, and you're going to have multiples if you want. So maybe for smell, you have the lotion. For smell and touch, you have the lotion, but you also have a really good smelling essential oil. Or maybe you have a super fuzzy little stuffed animal or blanket that is like your cozy space, and it makes you feel, and it feels good. You're going to have your favorite snacks in that box. You're going to have, maybe you have an extra pair of headphones that you throw in that box to remind you, okay, I'm gonna put this music on. Or maybe you write a note to yourself. These are the songs that make you feel better, because when you're in a moment when your parasympathetic nervous system is completely out of whack, you can't think straight. So write yourself a note. Remind yourself of your favorite music. Remind yourself of your favorite movies. Throw your favorite magazine in there. what else? We did taste. We put your favorite snacks in there, your favorite gum. Sight, put your favorite art in there. If you have, like I was saying, your favorite magazine, it's got beautiful art in it. We just got a solar flare. If you have a favorite piece of art that somebody made you or that you made, throw it in there, or throw a picture of it in there if you want to keep the real thing up on your wall or whatever. Have the art supplies. If you have extra art supplies, throw some of those art supplies in your box. And so it's like, this is your box to put your touch, taste, sight, smell, and sounds in. Or maybe you really like ASMR, and so you put something that you can tap on in that box, and now you have a good sound. Also, put a list of your favorite creators. Who are your comfort creators? Who, like, for me, my comfort creators are the ones that, like for me, 100% hands down, my comfort creator is Royalty Soaps. I love making soap, and this girl's been making Katie. She's so sweet. She never talks about anything other than soap. Like, she doesn't talk about politics. She doesn't talk about what's going on in the world. She just freaking makes soap, and she's funny, and she's sweet. I've watched her grow up for the last, I don't know, several years. I watched her before she was pregnant. I watched her while she's pregnant. I watched her now that her kids are growing up. Like, she's my comfort creator. I always know what I'm going to get with her. So it's like, if you need a reminder, I also really like listening to Girls Next Level. They rarely talk about politics or anything like that. They just talk about Playboy, Girls Next Door, and their personal lives. So have your list of creators as well. If you want to be old school, have your DVDs in there. If there's a video game you really like, fucking write that down or put your video game in there. If you still have like hard freaking copies of it. But this is your box. This is your special box. And you know what? You can decorate it. You can, like I said, you can do this with no money. You can take a shoebox, fucking decorate that shit and make it, like, make that part of the project, make that part of the coping skill. But that's your box, so that if you're spiraling or you're so dissociative or you just really cannot fucking function, you go to your box and you're already prepared for the lizard brain that you're stuck in. And then the things in your box take you from your lizard brain back to rational thinking so that you can get back to a space of being able to have control over yourself and your emotions. So I hope that helped, guys. I'm going to look at the chat now, but because I find myself falling into old coping skills, so my coping skills that I've been falling into are much better than the ones that I did at my worst. But like how I was saying, like the old coping skills from when I was like 15 of like me being the bully of the bullies, I have to realize that like bullying the bullies is not getting me anywhere. You can't fight fire with fire, you'll burn the whole world down. Eye for an eye leaves everyone blind. These fucking sayings are sayings for a reason. And so, like I was saying in the beginning, I'm working on like my wrath and my gluttony and my consumption. My consumption is definitely having to do with this fucking Black Mirror as well, my phone and my scrolling and everything. But like, I am working on my wrath right now too. So it's like, the next time you fall into a pit of despair, the next time you're feeling super vengeful or wrathful, stop yourself and try one of these coping skills. So I hope these help you. They help me a lot, and I'm going to be actively working on focusing on using these coping skills instead of falling into my old ones. So yeah, let's see what the chat is saying. Very ascending statement. Thank you. Thank you, Nikki. You're welcome. I'm glad. Please don't come in the chat and talk trash. It's disrespectful. Thank you. Yeah. Anyone who would come in here and, like, literally you're proving my point. Like, you're doing the opposite of what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting a way for you to ascend your lower emotions and to go from, like, literally the caveman part of your brain to the functioning, high functioning part of your brain, and you can't even do that. You're just here bullying, leaving nasty comments. Like, at least I'm trying to make myself better. I'm trying to help other people be better. I'm trying to make the world be a better place, which is way more than what I can say of you. You're just sitting online scrolling. You've probably been sitting here for what, hours and hours and hours, and if not hours, I'm sure you've been sitting here trapped in your own body in a state of dissociation, exactly what I've been talking about, with no control over your emotions or your choices choices in life. That's why you sit here mindlessly scrolling and leaving bullying comments, because you don't have any control over yourself. So maybe you could actually learn something from this video, but if not, you can enjoy continuing to be a prisoner of your own devices, a prisoner of your own addictions, a prisoner of the phone, and a prisoner of the lower part of your brain and your lower emotions. That's on you. You always got free will, baby, but you're not going to come in here and spew your bullshit all over. I got good moderators, and it's just not, you're not welcome here. So, yeah. Food for thought. Hi. I was reading a couple chapter kid books. Programming was scary now that I know. I'm still enjoying them. I've been doing that a lot too, Lady in Faith. I have been watching old like children's movies and realizing like how groomy some of them are. So like I just watched Under Wraps, which is like the original 1997 Disney Channel original movie, a DCOM. That movie is so groomy. Like, and my favorite character was hypersexualized, like a young girl that was hypersexualized, and like as a child that was my favorite character, and then watching it back as like a 32-year-old woman, I was like, oh, okay. Like, the whole movie was just a red flag. So I totally get what you're saying. It's like looking at it with fresh eyes and realizing now that you're an adult that it was like never appropriate. Hi, Dutch and Dutch fam. Glad to make this live. Hey, Romina. Glad you're here, too. Lots of love, Dutch. Oh, my God. I just seen these creepy comments. The division is so real with the NPCs. I haven't even seen them, luckily. Hefty Loadsworth sounds like someone wearing a diaper, though, which is the person leaving the creepy comments, so they got their own shit, literal shit to figure out. My gosh, that too. Watched old cartoons with new eyes. Scary, but I'm glad I'm awake. Yeah, exactly. Love y'all too. Thank you, Lizzie. I'm just tired of having my personhood betrayed. It's so insidious. I completely agree. I'm just so tired of y'all. No, me too! I swear to God, they all use the same playbook. My partner is criticizing and belittling my beliefs again. He's trying to get me to stop my own, even though he knew about this from the beginning. Yeah, I'm sorry. That is not okay. I feel like so much common things we do naturally, and everything is witchcraft, like spelling words itself. Exactly, I completely agree, Mystic Mermaid. Hey, baby Pico! Hey, girl. You love my hair? Thank you. Thank you so much. No, same. I just got a coloring book with positive words, which is awesome. That is awesome. Thank you, Lizzie. I know there's a bunch of, like, freaks in the chat, so thanks for being cool and taking care of them. How do you help someone with trauma? Everything I just said, honey. Like, I literally just gave a whole thing. I just gave a whole thing. If you just got on the live, this whole live was about helping with trauma and getting out of your lizard brain and getting into the reasoning part of your brain and out of the trauma part of your brain. So you'll have to go watch the live. Okay, yeah. No, then this is the live for you. Pretty lady. Thank you. I was saying the freaks because there's just like their comments are being deleted, but I guess the chat is pretty NPC right now. So, but my moderators are awesome, so we're keeping it cool. Okay, but I'm gonna do a 3-2-1 reading. That's what I want to do right now. And then also, guys, I haven't gotten it on my website yet, but I am gonna take people through the 1111 portal. I'm going to be doing a Zoom, so we will be like everyone can have their cameras on, and we'll like say our hellos and everything, but we're definitely gonna have mics off because I'm gonna have us do a journaling prompt. I'm also thinking about doing some visualization to take us through the portal, some singing bowl, and then I'm going to give a song for us all to like dance to. So I think it's going to be $33, so pretty reasonable, and it'll be nice because we can all get together as like-minded individuals and, yeah, go through the portal together. I usually will do like a big spell for 11/11, but this year I just feel like bringing like the community together and like doing more of like the coven work than the individual, like just working a spell for everyone. So yeah, that's gonna be up on my site soon, and I will also have candles available too for those of you who like I will also have candles available for those of you who want the like candle aspect. So like if you want me to burn a candle for you, I can do that. But yeah, we're gonna be doing some Zoom together, which will be fun. So yep. Yeah, all right. Well, this chat is just a little bit not on topic, but you cannot go live horizontal on YouTube anymore because YouTube just desperately wants to be TikTok. But I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna do that 3-2-1 reading, so keep an eye out for that. Or maybe I'll do a regular one like how I did the other one where I'm just like picking cards. But we're gonna do that. And then I'm going to get that up on my website so people can sign up for that if you'd like to go through the 11/11 portal in a coven supported by other people of like-minded interests who have the goal of being their best self, because we're really going to be focusing on how to utilize the rest of the year, the last 2 months of the year, and how to set ourselves up positively going into next year so that we don't get like blindsided by when the new year does come for 2025. So we're going to be like getting our shit together and getting like on track now. So yeah, if you want to do that, keep an eye out for that. And yeah, I love you guys. Take care. I hope this helps people. And I'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye.